Greetings, everybody. This is your commissioner, Ian Lovering, and I'm here to do my Week 5 wrap-up, Week 6 preview. I want to start out by saying it was good to see everybody that I did see while I was home on break. It was a very relaxing weekend for me, and it was really fun to get to play basketball with some of you and see others of you at church. That was fun for me. So let's move on to the Week 5 results here. This was a big, pretty crazy week for us as a league. Some pretty groundbreaking results in a few respects, and a big week for us trophy-wise, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to start out with Mason versus Wayne. Mason took this one 114 to 78. Not a big surprise there. I feel like Mason this season has made a case for himself as one of the elite teams in the league, and he follows through. And Wayne hasn't really been showing up too much in weeks past. A little bit of disappointment there with only a 78-point showing. Jeremy beat Brad 88-76 in a relatively low-scoring affair. Jeremy got away with benching Ben Roethlisberger, who was pissed that he got the pine, so he had by far his biggest performance of the season. But nevertheless, Jeremy escaped with a 12-point victory there. I've been on Brad's train all season, but every time I predict that he wins, it just doesn't really pan out, so perhaps I should stop jinxing him like that. I do feel he's got the talent to achieve results, but who knows. Cody smacked David down 112 to 63. That was more David's doing than Cody's. David forgot to bring the D apparently, and definitely brought no O. 63-point showing is very, very rarely going to cut it. And in fact, I guess if it's going to cut it for anybody, it would be David, because of the absurdly low totals he's held people to in the past. But this week it was not to be. Cody at 2 and 3 is kind of sneaking along, trying to stay relevant. Doesn't want people to forget about him, and perhaps he'll be a team to watch down the stretch this season. We'll have to see. Al beat Chad 103 to 86. This was a big game this weekend. Two 3-1 teams, and Al comes out on top with big games from two of I don't know, typical Al players. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Pierre Garcon. I don't know why they strike me as Owls, but those are just kind of the kind of players that Al tends to get production from. And it ends up burning Chad, who the only three people that showed up for him were his big three, Forte, Calvin Johnson, and Michael Vick. So really no production from anyone else, and that was the way the tide turned in that one. Finally, in probably the most absurd fantasy matchup we've seen all year. In fact, I will go on the limb and say it was the most absurd fantasy matchup we've seen all year. It was me and Walter, matchup of the Lovering brothers, and I think coinciding with everyone's predictions, it wasn't close at all. Walter is on a ridiculous hot streak right now. He won a Crucial Beast last week, and for his 175-point performance this week, he definitely gets another Crucial Beast. It was the first time in history we've seen 2 straight Crucial Beasts. I don't know when that'll be equaled again. Screaming Howard tends to be pretty stingy about handing those things out, but Walter capped a 140-something point performance last week with 175 this week. That breaks the league scoring record by 19 points. Excuse me. Just absolutely blew it out of the water. The past couple of years, we've seen the total kind of inch up point by point, but Walter I guess he'd had enough of that because 175 points, absolutely ridiculous. On the other end of the spectrum, I only scored 53, so that amounts to a 122-point beatdown. I don't even really know what to say. I mean, I was expecting to get beaten badly, but this just takes it to a whole new level. I feel like I should bench everyone on my team, but I can't do that because then I wouldn't be effectively setting my lineup, and that's grounds for expulsion from the league. Even though getting beat by 122 points might as well be grounds for expulsion as well, because this was just hideous. I won't focus on my futility here, because I think all the praise goes to Walter. It doesn't matter how well I did this week. I was not going to get anywhere close to his 175-point total. He went 27 from Rogers, 22 from Best, 30 from AP, 12 from Beanie, 14 Mike Wallace, 14 Deshaun Jackson, 15 Vernon Davis, 22 from the 49ers D, and 19 from Nick Novak. That is an ultimate team performance if I've ever seen it. Very, very impressive and totally Crucial Beast worthy. It wasn't necessarily crucial in the fact that he squeaked out a really close, high-scoring matchup, but crucial in the fact that I guess I may never recover from this. So, that being said, as far as our trophies are concerned for this week, I awarded myself the Snowman of the Week, very much deserved. And Wayne got a Nostradamus. This was our first Nostradamus of the year. Congratulations, Wayne. I know you had that crystal ball out last week, and you correctly foresaw all 5 matchups and me being the low scorer. So I guess that wasn't too hard of a call, but well done there. First week in a long time I remember we getting all 3 trophies at once. That may be the first time ever, so very cool there, very cool to see. Let's look at week 6. I'm playing Brad. If I'm going to get a win ever, it's going to be this week. And I've got my 2 running backs back. I don't know if that means much. Philip Rivers is getting the bench. It's about time that he got the bench. And even though I'm starting Sanchez, I don't know. I feel like this week is as good a chance for me as ever, so I'm going to predict that I get the win here. Walter versus Chad. I don't think you can bet against Walter right now. 4-1, hotter than any team has ever been in our league. I'm on that Ron Burgundy bandwagon, so Walter beats Chad, and convincingly at that. David versus Al. Aside from me, David has been the worst team in the league the last couple of weeks, so and Al's been performing at his usual level, overachieving. So I'm going to roll with Al for this one. I'm going to say he beats David pretty convincingly. Mason versus Jeremy. This is our game of the week. I think this will be pretty close. Jeremy's got some firepower on his team, even though that LeGarrette Blount's injured now, so he's got to take care of that. But I'm going to say Mason wins. And Cody versus Wayne in our final matchup of the week. I'm going to go Cody here. Wayne is starting Darius Hayward-Bay, and I cannot possibly pick a team that's starting Darius Hayward-Bay. I don't care if he's gotten 2 double-digit performances in the past couple weeks. I feel like that's just like a fantasy bylaw or something. You can't do that and get away with it. The gods will smite you, Wayne. So Cody takes that win. I guess that's it. It was good to talk to you guys this week. I hope my message was a bit more engaging than usual. I know it can be really dry. Sorry about that. Regardless, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and God bless.